Herding cows are my favorite way to talk about the carbon cycle. You know those folks who are always tracking their macros? Well, macros are short for macromolecules, and all macromolecules are made up of carbon. So carbon is a super important element for life. You ever seen a ridiculously tall tree? Or one with a very, very, very wide trunk? Mostly carbon. So all life on Earth depends on carbon. How do we get it? Carbon is stored in the atmosphere in multiple forms, but the form that we tend to talk about most is carbon dioxide, because that is the form that our plant friends can take in order to do photosynthesis. Using the process of photosynthesis, plants are going to convert light into energy, and that energy molecule is going to be a sugar, which is made up of carbon. The plant, as it's living its life, it'll use that energy molecule to make ATP, which is another energy molecule that we'll talk about later. But eventually that plant is going to die, either by natural causes, unnatural causes, or it's going to get eaten. And eating, my friend, is how you, I, and the cows get our carbon. Eventually, all living things will give way to entropy, and our bodies will decay and decompose into the soil where carbon is going to be stored. And if left there long enough, eventually will become a fossil fuel. Combustion or burning of those fossil fuels reintroduces carbon back into the atmosphere. And that's usually what the conversation is about when we talk about greenhouse gases. But enter the cow, the gassy. And when they get gassy, they emit methane. Methane is a greenhouse gas all by itself, but it also degrades and becomes carbon dioxide over time. And that increased amount of carbon in the atmosphere can lead to rising temperatures globally. Scientists are looking at artificial selection as ways to reduce cows' carbon footprint. Basically, they're selecting the cows that produce the least methane after eating to breed, and not so much the others. Scientists looking at supplements to give cows to reduce methane emissions, and even vaccines. I just think that's really interesting. That's day 3 of my Overdoing It 30 Days of Science challenge for myself for the month of June. Stay curious, y'all.